this opportunity to welcome everybody in this meeting. Today we are going to receive a presentation from the Department of Minerals and Energy. I'm not going to waste any time. Aska, give us a agenda. You are welcome in this meeting.
Chair, the agenda for the day is a briefing by the Department of Mineral Resources and Energy on the special adjustment to their budget and revisions to the stat plan annual performance plan, and also the consideration and adoption of the committee minutes and reports, Chair.
And so you didn't put any an item here, the apology.
Chair, the apologies we received so far was from Gwenia and Mr. Arnolds.
Okay. Members, from your side, do you have any apologies before I can give to the department?
Chairperson, my apologies. I just received a message from Ms. Mukause. She was on the platform, but she's having problems with her gadget. She's in and out. She just told me to inform you about that.
Okay. Honorable Matibe, Honorable Bibi, any apology from your side? And Honorable Smith?
No, from my side, there's no apology, ma'am. I called my secretary to check on Honorable Nsube.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Honorable Smith?
I'm not aware of any apology.
Okay. No, thank you. Okay. Let me give to the DG. DG?
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. Good afternoon to you, and also good afternoon to the honorable members of the Select Committee on Land Reform, Environment, and Mineral Resources and Energy, and also good afternoon to the team DMR. The DDGs are also part of the meeting, together with the support staff of the Select Committee and the Office of the Minister as well. As for the apologies, Chair, I have two apologies from the DDGs. I have an apology from DDG Nwabe, who is actually out on a work assignment, but the team that is here will be able to deal with all matters that might be relating to her portfolio. Mr. Mbambo, he's also dealing with some international work, because he's chairing an international body. They're having a session for the next 3 days, and so they have started at 9 o'clock. Those are the apologies from the officials. The other apologies from the Honorable Minister of the Department of Mineral Resources and Energy, Mr. Kwete Mantash, who we are all aware now that he contracted the virus. But then I must confirm that I had a conversation earlier this morning with him, to alert him about the work that we will be doing today together with you as the Select Committee. And so he has wished us very well. And he even said that I must convey his greetings to you all. And so that is the apology that I got from the Honorable Minister as well. Now, as for the presentation, Chair, can you share the presentation a bit, Nico, the support staff on the screen? We are presenting the adjusted budget of the department, Honorable Chair and Honorable Members. I know that it's a very hot topic, but we are optimistic that we'll be able to explain to the Select Committee on how we have arrived at some of the decisions that we ultimately took as the department together with the National Treasury. As for the presentation outline, I'm not going to spend the time on the presentation outline. It is actually self-explanatory. We can proceed to page 3, which is the slide 3, which is the introduction. Now, the CFO will take us through the presentation. I'll just give this overview. Then from slide 4, the CFO will come in and take us through the financial, aspects of the presentation. We also have some information that some of the DDGs that will come in on the later stage. Honorable Chair and honorable members, on the 15th of March, as we all know, that the President of the Republic declared a national state of disaster in terms of the Disaster Management Act as a result of COVID-19, which was declared as a world pandemic by the World Health Organization. And subsequent to that, the National Treasury also published the 2020 Special Adjustment Budget guidelines to give effect to the 130 billion rand baseline that we had to reprioritize our programs based on the President's COVID-19 response package. Now, we felt that the engagements that we had with the National Department of National Treasury to a certain extent was quite vigorous, because we understood that we have allocations for our provinces that we have made, where we were almost actually committed in terms of those allocations. But we finally had to agree, because it was very important that we come up with a consensus at the end of the day in terms of the total amount that we'll be able to surrender as a department. After those vigorous discussions with National Treasury, we came up with a revision of a downward revision of 1.5 billion rand, which the CFO will reflect in terms of how did we arrive at this 1.5 billion. We'll then respond to the questions to the honorable members. As I've explained, that we were quite very much mindful of the fact that when we come to you, it is not gonna be easy. It will be very, very tough. But I'm sure you would appreciate the efforts that we have put in this work in making sure that we also fight for our provinces, that their allocations are not significantly, affected, even though that they are affected. But there are reasons that we have also put forward on what criteria have we utilized to determine those, interventions or reductions. I'm now going to hand over to the CFO, with your indulgence, Honorable Chair and honorable members, to take us through the full presentation. Then at the end, we will then deal with questions. Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. Over to you, CFO.
Thank you, DG. Honorable Chairperson, honorable members, DG, DMRE officials, colleagues, good afternoon. I'm Yvonne Chetty, and I will present from slide 4 till the end. Chair, the department's voted appropriation was 9.3 billion at 1 April 2020 as we opened the financial year. We had under compensation 1.1 billion, but we had no budget reduction for compensation of employees. And this was due to the fact that the department had informed National Treasury through the DG that DMRE will be utilizing part of the savings to assist unemployed graduates. And that process is currently underway, and we have been engaging Treasury continuously on this plan. Under goods and services, we had 565 million. The budget was reduced by 41.7 million. We have a revised baseline now of 524 million, and I will provide the details. Transfers and subsidies had a budget of 7.6 billion. We had a net budget reduction of 1.5 billion. We have a revised baseline for transfers and subsidies of 6.1 million, 6.1 billion, sorry, for the rest of the financial year. So if I can move to the next slide, and I'll provide the details, some of the details. Chair, and this is just a slide where we show the percentage reduced per program. In the slide, we show that the percentage reduction of the original budget per branch at the opening of the financial year. Administration, that includes all the support staff and the ministry and DG's office, the budget has been reduced by 4%. Minerals and petroleum, the budget has been reduced by 1%. Mining and minerals also went down by 1%. Mine health and safety increased by 3%. Programs and projects was decreased by 26% overall. Nuclear energy was reduced by 1%. The increase in mine health and safety of 3%, which you can see on the slide, it is 6.2 million. And this Chair is to assist that branch or that program for the added activities that they will undertake, especially with the COVID pandemic that we face now. Overall, Chair, as we can see in the second column, we have a reduction of 1.574 billion, and I'm going to provide you with the details now. If we can move to the next slide, please. Chair, this slide is just trying to illustrate that the goods and services, we had an original reduction of 48.7 million. In terms of the savings we've identified across all programs, we looked at savings and perhaps where we could reduce expenditure as well. In this process, we had to also look at augmenting Program 4 to assist with some of the mine health and safety inspections, which we have given them 6.2 million of the 7 million, and another 800,000 was used in Program 5 to assist the regional offices. So that gave us an overall reduction of goods and services of a 7% decrease. Transfers and subsidies, as I mentioned, was decreased by 1.532 billion, which is overall a 21% reduction. So if I can move to the next slide, please. Chairperson and honorable members, for the 41.7 million that was reduced for goods and services, these are the items or the line items in our budget that has been reduced. And in reducing these line items, Chair, we have engaged the branch heads. We have had extensive discussions also with National Treasury. We did have some pushback towards National Treasury because we do have many deliverables to deliver on. So our discussions with them was on an ongoing basis. Overall, we reduced catering by 933,000, entertainment by 84, consumables by 1.2 million, consumables stationery by 2.5 million, advertising by 2.6 million. Travel took the biggest chunk of the cut, which was 18.1 million. And Chairperson, this is as a result of the lockdown. The department was locked down for a fair amount of time, and that much of the travel has also not taken place as planned. Venues and facilities also went down by 3.4 million, also attributable to some of the public gatherings that didn't happen and some of the functions that were planned did not take place. Rental and hiring was also reduced by 2 million. Consultants was reduced by 8.7 million. And this, Chairperson, is due to some procurement lags we've had and due to the lockdown, but we anticipate to have them up and running soon. But with the reduction, we don't anticipate any major disruption to the projects that we've planned. Outsourced services, 1.1 million, giving us a total of 41.7 million for goods and services that was reduced from our budget. If I can move to the next slide, please. Chairperson and members, I've just gone through how the 41.7 million was reduced across all the line items in our budgets. This slide, I'm trying to illustrate all the programs that have had their budgets reduced. So under program 1, which was administration, has been reduced by 18.6 million, which we can see it was the biggest cut across from all programs. And it was basically, we had to look at which branch would not affect too much of the service delivery. So the administration was cut a little bit more. Under program 2, which is minerals and petroleum regulation, has gone down by 3.6 million. Program 3, which is mining, minerals and energy policy development, has gone down by 6.4 million. Program 4, which is mine health and safety, which is not shown on the top of this slide. It's because they had an increase to their budget for the mine health and safety inspections in the main. Program 5 is programs and projects, has decreased by 7.1 million. Program 6, which is nuclear energy regulation and management, has decreased by 5.8 million, giving you an overall reduction of 41.7 million in goods and services. This is just showing you per program how they were affected. Chair, on this, I'm just going to go through the reasons and how the reductions happened. A reduction adjustment of 41.7 million or 7.4% was effected on goods and services budget allocation. 44.7% was implemented at administration, mainly under travel and subsistence, but service delivery will not be significantly affected. Non-essential reductions were implemented on core programs, mainly due to the lockdown and the staggered return of employees. A total of 7 million was reallocated within goods and services, mainly to fund mandatory inspections that were intensified. Environment of 6.2 million was reprioritized from administration to mine health and safety inspected in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. And an amount of 800,000, which I mentioned, was reprioritized as well to program 5. It was within program 5 to cushion the impact of the pandemic at the regional offices. Chair, I'll move to the next slide, please. Some of the delayed projects, there were 2 projects that were delayed as a result of the lockdown. That is program 3, which is mining, minerals and energy policy development. Fuel sampling and testing was delayed. Under program 5, which is programs and projects, non-grid monitoring and evaluation, which involved the verification of installed units. This was also delayed because verification can only take place after the installation. The delayed result in savings in consultants and contractors line items were also reduced. It is expected that procurement process will return to full capacity in the next month. And then, Chair, the following programs also contributed to the special adjustment budget under goods and services, which was program 2. There were minimal disruptions at this program, and the budget reduction here was not significant. Program 6, which is nuclear, this program contributed 14%. There will be some impact on some of their activities. Thank you. I'll move to the next slide, please. Chairperson, on this slide, it's the transfers and subsidies, which has taken the major cut or reduction in our budget. We started the financial year at 1 April 2020 with 7.6 billion. And with the negotiations with National Treasury, we had initially submitted a lower reduction after engagements internally, but Treasury had done some of their own analysis and we had to further reduce. And as DG mentioned in his opening comments, we had some bilaterals with National Treasury in this regard. Chair, the DMRE 2021 main appropriation earmarked for transfers and public entities, implementing agencies, municipalities, households for implementing specific programs and projects was 7.6 billion, which makes up 82% of the total 2021 allocation. These comments that I'm making, Chairperson, is in the first slides. It's on slide 13, but I'm going to keep you on the slide for now. The INAP Eskom grant for electrification of households accounted for 39% of the total transfers budget. And in the slide here, Chair, you will see the municipalities, which accounted for 30% of our total transfers budget, was reduced from 1.8 billion. We've reduced the budget by 500 million. We have a revised baseline of 1.3 billion. The next reduction is in INAP Eskom, which started the financial year with 3 billion. It has been reduced by 1 billion. And we have now a revised baseline of 2 billion. We had reductions in energy efficiency and demand-side management. That's transfers to the municipalities. The main appropriation was 217 million. We had a reduction of 21.7 million. We now have a revised budget for the remaining financial year of 196 million. And I will provide reasons how we've handled the reduction. And then we have South African National Energy Development Institute, that's SANEDI, started the financial year with 78.2 million. We've engaged their entity and they have submitted a reduction of 4.1 million, leaving them with a revised budget of 74.1 million. If I can move to the next slide, please. One before, please. Slide 12. On this slide, Chairperson and members, National Nuclear Regulator started the financial year with 45.4 million. They have also reconsidered their budget and submitted a proposal of 5 million for the budget reduction. They have a revised baseline now of 40.4 million. The last one being membership fees, that's to international bodies. We started the financial year with 31 million. We've submitted a reduction of 1.4 million, leaving us with a revised budget of 29.6 million. We'll now move to the slide 13. Chairperson, I've covered much of some of the comments on this slide. If I look at the third bullet point, a total of 1.532 billion was reduced and reprioritized from this classification towards the COVID-19 fiscal response package, mainly from Program 5, Minerals and Energy Resource Programs and Projects, specifically from electrification grants, that is INAP Eskom and INAP municipalities. If I can move to the next slide, please. This reduction, Chairperson and members, as I've mentioned, we started the financial year with 7.6 million in the first paragraph, 7.6 billion, sorry, and we've now reduced it. The new budget is 6.1 billion, impacting the programs as follows. Program 5, Mineral and Energy Programs and Projects. This program started the 2021 financial year with a total budget allocation of 5.798 billion. It has been reduced and earmarked for transfers to public entities, implementing agencies, specifically for electrification projects. A transfer payments reduction of 1.527, which is only for Program 5, that's programs and projects, was approved by Treasury and implemented through the special adjustment budget process. If I can move to the next slide. Details of the implemented reductions are as follows. But Chairperson and members, I want to point out that Program 5 was reduced by the 1.527 billion, and the details are as follows. In engaging the National Treasury with these reductions, the department also undertook engagements with the municipalities and Eskom before the budgets were reduced. So those engagements was undertaken by that branch head, DDG Imbele, who was also on this platform. INAP Eskom grant, 1 billion reduction from the main appropriation of 3 billion, what has taken place. The reduction will delay the implementation of bulk infrastructure projects, which are critical for laying the foundation for household connections, as well as reduce the targeted electricity connections. It is projected that 2020 and 2021 household connections target of 180,000 will decrease by 43,000 to 137 connections. The reduction will also have a significant impact on the Eastern Cape, Limpopo, KwaZulu-Natal, as these provinces have the largest electricity backlogs. If I can move, okay. INA's municipal grant of 500 million reduction from the main allocation of 1.86 billion. The decrease in the budget will contribute to the reduction in the household connections, as we've mentioned, by 43,000, and will also delay the implementation of infrastructure projects. Chairperson, I just want to point out that we have, I don't want to move from the slide, but under the annexures, which is slide 22 to 24, there are annexures that, and with more details of the rationale that was applied to the budget reduction per province. But just as an overview, I just want to point out that when the reduction to the municipalities happened, the criteria that was followed, which amongst others included projects that were not ready to be implemented, where there were historical backlogs in the municipalities in certain provinces, where the environmental impact assessments has not been approved, and where there were resettlement and land challenges, and where the new bulk infrastructure has no impact on the current household connections. And in applying the budget reduction across all municipalities and provinces, it was done so on a proportional basis. That's under the municipalities. Then under SANEDI, we had a 4.1 million reduction from the main appropriation of 78.2 million, resulting in a revised allocation of 74.1 million. The reduction is from savings as a result of vacant positions that will not be filled due to the lockdown. And the entity did consider the critical vacancies before making this proposal. Their travel budget was also reconsidered. Their new hire and catering expenses were also, and I think they looked at consultancy fees as well. And all these reductions, Chairperson, will not affect their operations significantly. If I can move to the next slide, please. Energy efficiency and demand side management. The grant was reduced by 21.7 million, which is about 10% of the main allocation of 196 million. The objective of this grant, in particular, Chairperson and members, is to support the various municipalities to reduce electricity consumption in municipal infrastructure, which has a significant positive impact on the electricity bill. The reduction will be applied across all municipalities receiving the grant. The reduction requires a re-engineering and downscaling of initial plans by municipalities. And the department is working on the submissions that they will receive from the municipalities. They have to ensure that the new revised plans will be established and fit for implementation. The downscaling of the plans will negatively affect the technology advancement aspect. The grant includes capacity building and awareness for municipalities, which will also be scaled down in the current financial year. The next slide, please. Membership fees, which has been reduced voluntary of 1.15 million. The IPEC is in the process of being reviewed into an energy efficiency hub to be located under G20 countries. Therefore, this reduction of the budget will not compromise South Africa's international standing, as the review process is delayed by the pandemic. If I can move to the next slide. Program 6, which is Nuclear Energy Regulation and Management. This program started the financial year in 2021 financial year with a total budget of 1 billion, which is about 97%. Has been earmarked for transfers to public entities, mainly to NEXA, international multilateral organizations, for membership fees. The only reduction implemented on this program under transfers was the 5 million reduced from the nuclear regulator from 45 million. They have submitted a budget proposal of 5 million, which could be reduced, which will not affect their operations significantly. It was accepted by National Treasury. The revised budget now sits at 40.4 million. If I can move to the next slide, please. Chairperson and honourable members, in conclusion, in order to implement the President's pronouncement regarding the government's COVID-19 fiscal response package, funds were repurposed within the vote, while a significant portion had to be surrendered for reprioritisation to other departments to fund specific activities listed in the response package. Chairperson, on this, with our engagements with National Treasury, there were competing priorities, and we also had to make our contribution towards this response package. The impact of the surrendered funds will not only be evident in the current financial year, but will impact implementation in the future years as well. This is specifically the case for electrification projects, as the nature of infrastructure and pre-engineering activities related to bulk infrastructure projects has an impact on delivery in future years. National Treasury has emphasized that a guarantee cannot be provided that the reduced amounts will be reinstated in the next budget process. And Chairperson, for us to keep in mind that our budget has decreased by that 1.574 billion. So there's no guarantee that we are going to get this funding in the outer years of the MTEF cycle. However, DMR will motivate for additional funds through the various budget processes that we have in place, and where necessary, we will start our engagements with National Treasury much earlier than anticipated. With that, I thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, CFO. DG, do you want to add something, or you are fine?
The only thing that I just want to add, Honourable Chair and Honourable Members, is that as the CFO has indicated, that we are going to appoint the graduates with the money that we did not surrender from the National Treasury. I think what will be good for you to hear is that as we'll be appointing the graduates, we discussed this matter. We have agreed that we are going to decentralize it, which means we are going to consider allocation for all 9 provinces. And so, which means each province will get an allocation. We'll still determine that as to how many per province. But one thing for sure that we can confirm to the honorable members is the fact that there will be allocation that will be given to all 9 provinces. Those graduates will be deployed in our regional offices throughout the country. Thank you very much, Honorable Chair and honorable members.
Thank you very much, DG, and your department. Honorable members, now I give you back to you for question or any clarity. Honorable Smith, Honorable Smith, you know, in our meeting, we are doing like this. I'm gonna call members by names. I'll start with you, Honorable Smith, and then it's gonna be Honorable Bibi, and Honorable Laboskarfni, and Honorable Matibe. You can start, Honorable Smith.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Apology that my camera is not on. The network is not that great today. So please bear with me. Honorable Chair, I've got 2 questions. The first question is related to the grants allocated to ESCOM and municipalities for the electrification of households. We've seen now the number of targeted households and the reduction because of the 1.5 billion in total that's reduced there. I would like to just hear from the department, what is the total backlog in terms of electrification, so that we can just have, you know, get that in perspective of the reduction. So what is the backlog total? The second question I have, Chair, is we've been hearing from the department frequently when we ask about the nuclear power deals and whatever, that South Africa will invest in nuclear power generation as it can afford it. So my question today, Chair, in this context of the reduced budget is, what is affordable for South Africa currently in terms of nuclear power generation? And is it going to be affordable for us to invest in that in the near future? And if so, by when do the department foresee that such investment will take place? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Smith. Honorable Bibi? Honorable Bibi? Honorable Bibi?
Sorry, Mama.
Okay.
Sorry, Chairperson. Thank you very much, Chairperson, and thanks for the presentations from the DTT. And also, good morning, colleagues. Honorable Chairperson, I had only one question, of which it was covered by Honorable Smith regarding the backlog of the electricity. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. Honorable Labu Skakni.
Good morning,
Honorable
everyone.
Kathy?
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. I
Okay.
can hear you.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. I've been covered on the nuclear by Honorable Smith and the backlog. I just want to know, the DG mentioned that the grants were given to provinces who were ready, project ready, and or had a history of spending. I want to know, was there a talk and a discussion to prevent the following? Say, for instance, municipality B is planning project A, but or is planning 3 projects, but 2 of them are not project ready. Will the money then be allocated to that project that's ready? And the reason that I'm asking, is there was there an alignment between 300 projects, but only 100 are project ready, therefore money will only be given for those 100 projects? Or will the provinces decide? Because within a year's time, we will come back, monies will have been paid out to provinces, and municipalities will say, but we couldn't do that because of COVID. And monies would have been disappeared, and there will be no electrification. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Kathy. Honorable Mukause. Mukause? Because of network. Okay,
Yes.
Honorable Matibe.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson, and greetings to honorable members and the department. We must convey our message of support to the minister so that he can recover as quickly as possible. I think the DG must send our message of sympathy there to the minister. My first 2 questions were covered by Honorable Smith and Honorable Lauskakni on the issue relating to projects in municipalities. What I can just add there is just to indicate, you find that sometimes municipalities will communicate with the communities in terms of the projects that are coming. After this reduction, will there be engagement so that we don't foresee protests by communities in relation to the projects that they had thought will be coming their way, and now those projects are no longer coming. Were the commitments already there to an extent that even communities are aware, or they were still on a pre-planning process where municipalities and communities are not yet aware? It's just an addition on the question that they had asked, because I see the reduction is very severe on municipalities, more especially Limpopo and KZN, which are rural. And of course, it means the backlog might be more on those areas. The other one was on the monitoring of compliance by DMRE on mines in terms of compliance with COVID. How far are they? Because we see most of the mining areas have become epicenters of COVID-19. What is the role of the department in that regard, and what are they doing to deal with that? The last one is also on monitoring safety in the mines. What is the progress in this regard, and is the reduction not going to affect the monitoring that they need to do in terms of the safety of mines? Thank you very much, Chairperson. I think the others have been covered by other members.
Okay, thank you very much. Anyone who want to ask again? Anyone? Before I give back to the department. Anyone? Okay.
I think we are fine, Chair.
DG?
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair and honorable members. I'll give over to Mr. Mbele and Mr. Msiza. I think the questions are mainly directed to the branches. Then I will just close up the remaining questions at the end. Over to you, Mbele.
Thank you, DG. Good afternoon, Honorable Chair and honorable members. I'm going to respond to the questions that relate to the INM program. The first question that was asked was in relation to the backlog. Currently, the backlog in the country is sitting at about 87%. From electrification point of view, we have since 1994 electrified about 7.8 million. So when one does the calculations, the backlog is estimated around, you could say, around 2 million plus or so. But I have to indicate that the backlog in the traditional sense is around 2.2 million or so. But we must also be aware of the fact that obviously people move around. I mean, at some point we were estimated to be sitting at about 90% of connections, and we almost redressed to about 87% because of the increasing number of informal settlements, because those are included in households that have not been electrified. The second question was around our processes with regard to how we allocate the money to the projects and ensuring performance by municipalities. The process that we follow is that municipalities apply to the department actually around this period. Today actually is the last day for municipalities to apply for the next financial year. And part of the application process is that they have to submit what we call business plans, which are actually detailed project report in terms of where they indicate the project readiness and what they want to do. The department then goes and then assess on the ground the need as articulated by the municipality, and on the basis of that, then the department makes a decision to allocate. It is part of the Division of Revenue Act, a requirement that municipalities then have to, or municipalities have to report on a monthly basis to the department in terms of progress and projects expenditure. And we do receive projects from municipalities, and with the limited resources that we have, we do go out and verify some of the reports. Yes, we don't in reality reach all the projects that are out there because of limited resources, but we prioritize the areas that we know that there's been problems or there are challenges. Where municipalities do not perform, we always have an opportunity around October to reprioritize. So where municipalities are not performing, we do take the money away. That's part of the DORA process, and we give it to those projects that were not allocated because of the limited resources. So effectively, we try, and as much as possible within the budget rules and requirements, to move money around between the projects. There was an issue around communication. We have, as we had indicated, we had a clear criteria that we engaged ESCOM on and we engaged municipalities on. We have communicated to affected municipalities, and obviously as part of their communication with the local residents, they are expected to communicate the changes to their plans to local residents. I think that's it, DG, in terms of the questions that were directed at INEP. Thanks.
Thank you, DG, and good day to the Honorable Chairperson, members, and the colleagues. Yes, indeed, in terms of health and safety and the monitoring of the mines, the department has not stopped. We have Honorable Chairperson and members conducted almost 1,700 inspections between April and June this year. And in case there's been non-compliance or challenges that have been identified by inspectors, will issue instructions in terms of the law, in terms of the Mine Health and Safety Act, for mines to ensure compliance. For instance, some of the things that we've been encouraging the mines have been screening and testing. We've been saying to them they must do vigorous screening and testing as we've agreed upon. But we don't only do inspections and audits, honorable members. Through the leadership of the minister, we've also been engaging with the key stakeholders, including the Minerals Council and organized labor, to work together and come up with a plan on dealing with this issue. And we've also came up with a guideline to mitigate and manage COVID, where we worked through that guideline through the Mine Health and Safety Council as a tripartite. And we're continuously doing inspections and audits. Now, in terms of the occupational health and safety, honorable members, the minister has announced during the budget vote speech that 2019 was the safest year on record, with 37% improvement on fatalities year-on-year between 2018 and 19. And we have not experienced a disaster for the first time in 4 years. A disaster is an accident where it resulted in 5 people losing their lives or more. And we had a 10% improvement also on occupational diseases. For us, it's encouraging. However, we continuously work together with the sector to ensure that we focus on safety. Now, in terms of the budget itself, we welcome the increase of 6 million that has been announced by the CFO, because it will help us to continuously do our work of monitoring the mines and engaging with their respective stakeholders to ensure that we safeguard the health and safety of the mine workers. Thank you, DG and honorable members. Thank you very much, DDGs and Chair. Just to wrap up on the nuclear build program, I must say that it would be too early for us to speculate as to how much it will cost for now. But what is important for honorable members to take note of is that we have issued a request for information. I'm sure at an appropriate time, when you deem necessary for us to come to the select committee to account, we'll be able to do so. But for now, the department can confirm that we have issued a request for information. Then based on that, we'll be able to do a thorough analysis and assessment. And so that will give us a clear indication. And so I'm sure we are all aware that we have also indicated that this will be done according to the pace, and also the affordability would also be taken into account. And so that's what we can confirm. As to whether are we proceeding with the program, yes, indeed, we are proceeding with the program. Thank you very much, Honorable Chair.
No, thank you very much, Honorable DG. Members, do we have any follow-up after the department responded?
Yes, Honorable Chair.
Yes, Honorable Smith.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I think the DG maybe misunderstood my question. My question was, what is affordable currently in terms of the nuclear deal for South Africa? So in terms of the department, what is a affordable amount that can be spent annually on a nuclear deal? So that is the question that I've basically asked. The second follow-up question, Honorable Chair, is please, if I can be corrected if I'm wrong, but do I understand it correctly that there's about 2.2 roughly estimated 2.2 million households that still need to be electrified, with 180,000, which was the original target. So that means it would take between 12 and 13 years if it's spent only on the backlog, not taking into the account the growth in demand for electrification. And with the adjusted amount, it would take about 16 to 17 years to catch up on the backlog. Do I understand that right? Thank you, Chair.
Okay, thank you very much. Any member?
From my side, Chairperson, I'm fine.
Okay, Honorable Bibi
It's
and Honorable
Makeda, yeah.
Honorable Kathy.
I'm okay, Honorable Chair.
Honorable Kathy. Honorable Labuskaken. Okay, it means.
Sorry,
yes,
I'm fine.
You're fine. Okay, can you answer the question that was asked by Honorable Smith, DG, or your team?
Thank you very much. Mr. Mbele will touch on one question, the clarity from Honorable Smith. I think we are well aligned. I mean, I understood the question very well from Honorable Smith. And so that is a point that we are trying to make here, that we can't speculate. This is a new build program, nuclear build program that we are busy with. Now, we can't speculate at the moment as to how much it will cost. That is the reason why we have issued a request for information. The reason for that is to give us a proper data so that when we come to the committee, we must be able to provide you with the accurate information, not speculative information. That is the reason, honorable members, that we are saying we have issued a request for information. And so if we can just be patient, allow the process to unfold, we'll come back if you still want any further report to be presented to the committee. Mr. Mbele, can you just clarify the question and further clarity or give further clarity on the question from Honorable Smith?
Yes, thanks, DG. The question around the backlog and as I indicated, yes, we are sitting at about 87%. We are in line with the budget projections going forward. We're estimating that we are going to do additional million houses by 2024. But this I have to indicate is what the department will do. We need to understand that municipalities, in addition to this, based on the savings that they make on their side, they do sometimes allocate additional money into electrification of households in their areas. But I also have to indicate that these numbers, I think from about 2 years ago, the metros are no longer part of this program. The metros get the allocation as part of the USDG direct. So there is also electrification that is happening in the metros that is not accounted for here. But we must also take into account that even when municipalities build houses under the housing scheme, they do provide houses to people, and some of them are people that did not have electricity in the first instance. So it's not necessarily a straightforward number that should just be based on these numbers. There are other initiatives. ESCOM as well, they do at times use their own funding to electrify additional houses. Thank you, DG.
Okay. I hope members you are okay now. Honorable Smith, you are fine, yeah?
Thank you, Chair. Yes, I'll submit some written questions on this. Thanks.
Okay, thank you very much. Honorable members, the department, we really appreciated your efforts for consulting the affected entities like the municipality and like ESCOM. We really appreciated that. But in this readjustment of budget, DG, department is urged to ensure that all constituencies are in place to avoid this proposed adjustment budget severely impact on service delivery on that local economy. And the achievement, DG, we really appreciated to see, because there are a lot of graduates that are roaming on the streets. So if the department intending to appoint them, those graduates, we really appreciate it. It is an achievement for the department. And then I will urge the members again, when we go back to our constituency, we must make sure that we encourage our municipalities to make sure that they must reduce this backlog, because if there was no backlog, I don't think the budget will be reducted from their municipalities or in the, like your electricity connection in the household. So they must make sure, you must make sure that they follow the budget. When the budget is there, they must use it. And then the issue of environmental impact, also the committee must encourage So we really appreciated department for your presentation, and again the achievement that
We are losing you,
in the
Chair.
mining. Hello.
We are losing you sometimes. Sometimes you are
Okay.
frozen. Yes.
Oh, I was saying for 1,000 inspection that was done during this period, for COVID period, we really appreciated that. It is achievement. 1,700. It is achievement in a short period. Really, it is achievement. And for the inspection, like they say, they are working together with all the stakeholders. Yeah, we'll see an impact when you are doing so. Keep on doing the good job, DG, with your department. Although really the reduction of the budget, it's gonna. I don't know. Do we have any capacity to make sure that you are not going? It's not going to affect your. It's not going to affect your service delivery. I don't know, but if you say, like you said, like the CFO was saying, reduction is not going to impact on the service delivery. Please make sure that it must not impact on the service delivery. And lastly, as the committee, we wish our minister a speedy recovery. We will pray for our ancestors, Ebo Krasahani, Bulebo, Tate Mandela, where they are, to make sure that our minister must get well very soon. We need him, we miss him. You must tell him that we miss him in the committee. But he will come back, I know. Thank you very much. I think members, the department, we really appreciated your presentation. Thank you very much. The meeting is adjourned. Oh no, the department, we can release the department, and the members of the select committee must remain.
Thank you. Goodbye, Chair.
Very much. Goodbye, Chair. Goodbye, honorable members.
Thank you, Chair.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Goodbye, Chair.
Man Smith, don't goodbye. Honorable Smith.
You told us we must go.
No, I said the department. You are not a member of the department.
I could hear that is the voice of Smith. He wants to run away.
You want to run away. You want to go to what is the municipality? Makabulela.
I am in
Mukalakwena.
I am
Mukalakwena. Yeah, how's the Mukalakwena, Honorable Smith?
He wants to go to
Hey, it's mixed masala, yeah.
Mixed masala.
Yeah.
You must go there and tell them that, hey, you must not doing the mixed masala here. This is government.
Chairperson, we must go and visit the mines there in Mukalakwena.
Yeah, Honorable Smith. Honorable Smith. Then next oversight, we are gonna go to Mukalakwena, ne?
No problem, Chair.
Yeah, no, we must go there, Honorable. Members,
Chairperson.
Yes, Aska.
Chairperson, unfortunately, we do not correct. We have 4 provinces present, so we do not form a quorum.
Okay, Honorable Mukause didn't come back. She didn't come back.
She was on and then she lost connection again.
Oh, no, members.
So we'll have to
are
do
only
the
5,
next.
but 4 provinces.
Yeah, no, Chair, we're not correcting. I think we can get another time to
No, we'll get another time. Thank you very much, honorable members. Aska, anything? There is anything?
No, Chair. The minutes and report will be dealt with in the next meeting, which will be next week, Tuesday, the 28th.
Okay, thank you very much.
That will be the last meeting of the term.
Okay, thank you very much, honorable members. And we know that this morning we have attended the funeral for our own colleague, Honorable Mola. Let's take let's take ourselves very
Chair.
careful.
Chair, Ms. Mukause is back on the platform. So I don't know. She's back on the platform. So
Mama Kause,
she's having
Okay.
problems. She's having problems speaking, but she can hear.
Let's, Chairperson, can't we use next week to adopt the reports? So
yeah,
that we don't.
let's do that so that
Yeah.
we must not make a mistake, honorable
Okay, no
members.
problem.
So that
No problem.
everybody must say something. And
Yeah.
again, we must go to check all the minutes, honorable members. Thank you very
Yeah.
much. Have a lovely weekend. Take care of yourself. You see, this corona is dangerous, not like other virus. This one is killing us. Thank you very much. This meeting is officially adjourned.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Chair. Thank you,
Bye-bye,
Chairperson.
Mama Bibi, you must take care of yourself.
Yeah, I'm going.
This
Yeah,
flu,
I'm
man.
going. Yeah, I'm going to go to the doctor after this.
Please, Mama, please.
I'm really not okay.
Yeah, no, I can see you. Thank you, Mama. Bye-bye.
Okay, thanks, Mommy.
Bye.